Hey everyone, I know it's been a while. I just had some life things happen and stuff and been very, very, very busy. And so I'll tell those more at a later date. But there's a very important update that I have to kind of talk about and kind of, let's just say, pass on the information. And so I'm going to say disclaimer here. However, my feelings are with COVID and the vaccines and things like that, it's no way indicative of the anti vaxxers. And, because I know everybody has a right to their own opinion for what I'm going to say. And you can take or leave it, but I'm just going to pass on the information of what had been happening to myself quite recently. And sorry for the lighting and the shadowing. It's kind of late in the day. So, anyway, so yeah. Just to start off, as I've said, I've had all the vaccines, the booster, so I'm all protected and things like that. So, my story started about maybe a week and a half to about 2 weeks ago, where I started to feel a bit funny. Like, I didn't. It was basically feeling like I was a bit off, but I didn't know why. And so, and I started to feel like a little bit of a cold. It felt like a cold. I had a bit of a sore throat, but it wasn't like a scratchy sore throat. It wasn't like a. It was like everywhere, all like all over my voice box here, and it was sore, but it wasn't obvious, which was weird. And then later on down the line, there was one night I just kind of was going to sleep, and I just couldn't. Like, my body was asleep, but my brain was still working. Well, obviously, but um, but it was still going overtime. And I'm like, why is this happening? Why is this going? I mean, like, hmm. And so I took some paracetamol and then went back to sleep. And then probably about 5 days or so later, um, I started to have like like a dull ache, like muscle issues on my left leg. But I put this down to myself because I actually injured my leg some time ago, and I thought that I actually kind of hurt it again because that's what it felt like. But then after a while, I thought something is really not right here because my leg ended up feeling like somebody was placing like hot compress on my leg, and it was going around my leg. I thought this is weird. Like, I wasn't in pain or like dragging my leg behind, but I was like, this is weird. Cannot weird. Like, why? No. Mm, weird. And so I tried to see the doctor over Christmas. Um, Obviously, I did eventually manage to see the doctor. But I didn't know until when I was spoken to a close family member where I had the near enough the same symptoms, but I still kind of like thought, yeah, but it could be such and things like that. And then one night I was making something as my usual for my diabetes thingy. And I was trying, when I first tried the stevia sugar, I hated it. I hated it so much. Like, oh god, yeah. And when I tried it for a second time for making actually chocolate mousse, I thought, I like this. Why do I like this? And so I thought, oh, it's not COVID. It's just because I have a healthy lifestyle and I've been eating more healthier things. And so I probably don't have that same taste as I used to. And so, and so what made me go, obviously, something happened within family situation. And also, what actually started was again family situation. Um, and so I went to go and get tested. Sorry, go and get tested as well. And I again, um, I actually went with my mum. And so we both got tested, and unfortunately, stupid me, I picked up the wrong bag, and so brain fog. Um, More so than usual, unfortunately. Um, but the thing is, the volunteer said when we went to the testing centre, said, look, when the results come through, your results will come out first, and then your mum's will come out after. And so, first result came through. I remember it was 6 o'clock in the morning. It said positive. And then I just kind of went back through everything in my head and I thought, it's me. It's definitely me. And so the second result came through and it was negative, gratefully. And actually, my mum had it back in January of last year. And so for her to have it again, no. But um, but for myself to have it, I thought, okay, I have to self isolate, not go anywhere. I know the routine. I find it quite ironic, me being the person who is related to somebody who was infected, and now I become the person who is infected. And so the idea of that actually really kind of terrified me, even though I do know I had the vaccines, I've had everything, and so I was protected, and I knew that. It's just the idea of getting infected. And so when I got infected, it wasn't, well, having seen it first time round, because I was protected and I had the vaccines and the boosters, the only sign I had that was bad was on a Wednesday. I was really coughing, like really coughing, because I'm also asthmatic. And so I was just coughing and coughing and coughing, and I had this really bad chest and couldn't really breathe properly. And so I had to use one of my inhalers in order to calm myself down. And then after that, I started to feel better. And so it just basically didn't get the chance to escalate into worst case scenario. So in my case, I had it quite lucky when people have had it a bit worse than me. Even it's just you can't really tell with corona because it could come out as anything. But one person actually explained it to me. It was like nowadays it's like flu but in bits, because with flu you get it all at once rather than little bits, where I had the leg thing, which I still kind of have now. But it doesn't mean that I'm infectious. Um, like having a cold and then that goes away, and then having a cough and then that goes away, and then sore throat, and that goes away. And so that is quite, like, I completely understand that is quite torturous. And thank God I use paracetamol and things and other things like that. And that's what really got me through, well, with my bout of corona or COVID. Um, and so thankfully, I had to be on top of my asthma. So take my medication every morning and every evening, so that I'm protected as much as I can. And then with my diabetes, I just got to take my tablets and kind of be aware of my diet, and and I always did that. So if I didn't have the vaccines or the boosters, I don't know what I would have done. But because I did that, I actually managed to kind of, hopefully, well, I'm not medically qualified, but hopefully to kind of minimize the impacts of what I was experiencing, and I think I did. So it just, to be honest, it just came and went within about a week and a half. So I feel better. I don't feel like I'm dragging myself through mud. So anyway, I just wanted to pass it on, and just to say, it wasn't, when I did get coronavirus, it wasn't awful. It wasn't like really, well, I did kind of doze off and get really tired, but now, and I did sleep a lot, but now it's kind of gotten down to a point where, as it says on the news, that it feels more like flu. But I know this from first hand experience, that when it was around first time, it was deadlier and scarier. And so, gratefully, knock on wood, my mum and myself and other people involved didn't, at the time, from what I know of, didn't get the virus, well, badly, but, or even get it at all. But now, hopefully, it could go into endemic, and we can just kind of live with that, like we do with flu and other things. So anyway, again, I just wanted to pass it on and to say that I may be asthmatic and diabetic, and I had the vaccines and the boosters, and that ended up being fine. So anyway, I hope this, well, just kind of pass on the information. Anyway, I hope you're well. Take care, and I'll try and post whenever I can. So thank you for listening, and we'll chat next time. Okay, see ya. Bye. Jesse.